Senate Bill 193. I'm going to actually present that, so I'll let Representative Torbett take the chair, if he will.
Thank you, Chairman Blackman. I believe there was an amendment present. Do you wish to have the amendment brought forward at this time?
Please.
And it is a PCS, so without any objection, PCS is properly in front of committee. Seeing none, so moved.
Yeah, the amendment is to the PCS.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You may proceed with the amendment, sir.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, if I may, I'd like to call on Ms. McCraw to explain the amendment.
Absolutely.
Carol McCraw, Legislative Analysis. The amendment would simply, one of the items that would be included in the Career Development Plan is a record of completed dual enrollment courses. The amendment would expand this list to reflect other advanced courses that students may take, including AP courses, the ACE program, or the Cambridge program.
Members of the committee, you've heard the amendment explained. Is there any questions on the amendment? Seeing none, amendment being properly in front of us, all those in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. Ayes appear to have it. Ayes do have it. Amendment is adopted. Representative Blackwell on the bill as amended, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sections 1 and 2 of the bill are, except for the amendment that we just did, are as the bill came over to us from the Senate. And basically, for the year starting 2024-25, all middle and high school students under those two sections of the bill would complete a career development plan. That would start in the 7th grade. It would be revised in the 10th. The state board would be required to adopt rules to establish minimum requirements for the career development plans, and also would designate electronic application or applications that could be utilized for students or parents to be able to access, input, modify those career development plans. There would be other things that you can see that were listed in your bill summary that would align have the potential to align the career plan with coursework that the student would be doing while they're in school. Section 3 is newly added here in the House. It provides for DPI to do a study which would involve creating an individual graduation plan. The distinction being that you can have a career plan, but you also need a path that takes you not only to that career, but to graduation. And this would ask them to study starting that graduation plan in the 8th and 9th grade and on through their high school career. One big piece of it is, apart from identifying what they need in order to graduate and also to fit with the career development plan, is that so many students get to the end of their high school career and they are not proficient in especially reading and math. And we need to start earlier to remediate those students so that they're not missing out on things in the earlier high school grades because they are behind in reading and math. So this would have DPI look at coming back to us to Ed Oversight with a possible proposal by January, I think it is, of next year, to suggest how we might add that to the career development plans that this would have start next fall. Glad to answer questions, Mr. Chairman.
Excellent explanation. Any questions from members of the committee? Representative Eiler.
Thank you. I'm sure this has been thought of, but does the bill, if one finishes, say, all the English requirements and the other requirements ahead of the plan, like in year 11 instead of 12, is anything that in this plan idea, is anything that would prevent somebody from graduating early?
No.
Thank you. For a motion at the appropriate time.
Thank you, Representative Eiler. Hold on one second. Representative Ball.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A question as to, this sounds like a good idea. Why would we not require charter schools to do this? I know we are encouraging them. But.
Right. I think that the idea is that the charter schools were founded, as you know, as sort of labs or experimental type situations so that they weren't subject to all of the same requirements. And the thought was that if they want to do this, fine, but if they think they've got a better way, we'll leave them free to try that. If we come up with a plan that we are persuaded by in January, this provision could be altered to include them at that point.
Follow up?
Follow up, Representative Ball.
That was what I was hoping you were going to say. At least if they are indeed designed, as I know they were, and I hope they're continuing to be viewed as laboratory schools, this seems like a perfect thing for them to also be looking at and considering. So I look forward to whether or not we add charter schools to it.
I love it when I can say things that you like.
Thank you. Thank you, Representative.
That was a challenge. Representative Budd.
This is going to be hard to follow up on. So, again, I think this is a good idea. I think this is fairly well thought out, but I did have a question in terms of practical application. Currently, a lot of our high schools have several hundred students per guidance counselor already. For example, Butler High School in my district has approximately 283 students to every guidance counselor, and Representative Biggs was horrified to find out that he had in one of his schools 429 students to a guidance counselor. So my question is there anything that we have looked at in the budget with how we're going to pay for this? Because I think we're going to need more people to actually make this work. Because guidance counselors now are already in charge of course selection, compliance with IEPs, crafting IEPs, 504s, the list goes on and on. So my question is, how do we practically envision this actually working for the benefit of the students the way you envision?
An excellent question, Representative Budd. And it's because of that question that this has been planned as a study. And one of the assignments, if you will, to DPI in the study is to consider resources needed for guidance counselors or other qualified school personnel to assist students in creating and updating the plans and to ensure that they are selecting courses that are needed. That's one of the things that we want to study is how do we do that with the existing personnel that we have? Do we need to add personnel? Are they the same guidance counselors or is it a different kind of person? To what extent can some of this be done with software that is supervised by education personnel? So that will, I hope and trust, be covered in the study that we're asking to be done.
Any additional questions on the bill? Seeing none, do we have any members from the audience signed up wishing to speak on the bill? None. Thank you. We're at that point. Representative Eiler, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move for a federal report for Senate Bill 193.
As amended, rolled into.
The PCS, therefore, as amended, rolled into a new PCS and referral to rules.
And unfavorable to the original. All right, members, you've heard the motion. The motion is properly in front of committee. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. Ayes appear to have it. Ayes do have it. Bill is adopted.